Were you here before?
Yes.
When you entered the room, you entered from here?
Yeah.
When you entered the room, and I thought, oh, Boris is joining from home. I think I'm having, what's going on here? Is this a me problem or is this a screen problem?
Oh, maybe
Huh?
you select
No, this.
the flickering.
Yeah.
It's good.
Okay. So we have pretty low attendance today. Doesn't matter. Actually, unless. Okay, let's get started. Now that Brian is here, we can get started. We were waiting for you, Brian, especially. So, yeah, a bunch of things happened since last couple of weeks. We worked on a lot of interesting things, had a lot of interesting conversations. Let's start our round of table. Boris, do you want to start talking about what you worked on?
Sure. Not much progress here, although we did the adaptive simulcast version. They can detect that you only broke the API layer, never to start it again.
You gotta use the magic word.
No, I don't want to.
The magic word being that it behaves like a circuit breaker.
Right. So that's in master. If you enable adaptive simulcasting in JS, it should be good. That's what it is.
And we have a few bugs to look into right now, but normally both George and Boris should be continuing work on adaptive simulcast this week and the following. Harold, do you want to talk a little bit about what you worked on?
We are talking about conversion, also processing the bridge to the client, so that if Jitsi meet, we can print these versions and do something with them. We plan to publish them to cold start, but we're not doing that yet.
Yeah, because they don't support it just yet, I think, right? But yeah, we found that this is an important piece of information that we've been missing in the past. So hopefully that should help with the debugging.
Yeah, and also we are looking into ICE file state in Chrome, and it turned out that up to this point we're thinking that Chrome will never go into file state.
As controlled, yeah?
Yeah, as controlled client, but actually it turns out that if we send only invalid clients to Chrome, then after like 15 seconds, it goes to failed state.
So yeah, that was a weird discovery indeed.
And also we fixed some issues with health check, some other minor.
And you're looking into?
Oh yeah, now we're looking into ICE restart thing. So we want to move the conference to another bridge without reloading the page, just by providing new candidates from new bridge. And right now it's not working, but we're still looking into this.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have much to update on. I've been working on adding an HD label to the conference interface so that the user is notified whenever the resolution is HD. I've been trying to do this also facilitate. I'm using the statistics, but I've been trying to add a special event for this in the library so that it's easier for clients using the library to use this event. I've been also working on, this is not a master yet, but it will be soon. I have some minor things because I have stumbled upon some bugs that I have to fix in the library, and also I've been working a little bit refactoring the code in the library around for recording, and this is also ongoing for. That's for me.
Did you mention? I'm sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Did you mention that we're doing an upload for the interface?
That was I said it last in the during the last call, and it will be very soon available. I just wanted to add the HT level, and then I'm going to commit that.
Okay. Damien?
I was working on some fixes in the library about mute and unmute. If you quickly mute and unmute, you can find yourself in a strange situation when you're muted and the camera is working, now fixed. Also added some in the Meet client some notifications about Chrome desktop sharing extensions failed to load, and also added some events for that in the library.
Okay, thanks. Jeff?
I don't have anything interesting.
That's not true.
Maybe Ryan's fix Ryan's issue with the hanging, the freezing race. So maybe it's I'm secretly hoping that Ryan doesn't say now that it doesn't work. And so that should be it. We fix these multiple issues with rest and unclosed sockets. So we expect to have some more stable behavior from video bridge. And what I'm currently working on is trying to reduce the time that it takes to establish a connection to video bridge. And that's some work on the.
I saw that you also did something around making ice harvester initialization earlier.
Yeah, but it's I'm just looking for ways to reduce delays, but those were the easy cases where we like moved some initializations to the start of a video bridge. But anyway, those should have been taken away. It's only for the first request. And then if you have health checks enabled, then probably they're gonna kick in earlier and like do the initializations themselves. So the other thing that I did last night was I accepted this patch that caches the RSA key for a day, so that we spare some milliseconds when we create the conference.
But that was also because of the CPU consumption, right?
That was why it was developed, but I personally just cherry-picked it.
Okay.
And I'm probably gonna do a caching of the certificate as well, because it's also factors into the creation of the conference, and we don't wanna slow down.
Yeah, and last time, I don't see Etienne here this week, but last time we talked about he's on vacation. What a slacker! So last time we talked about his optimization around using, what was it? It wasn't the hashing. It was the yeah, about having the counter implemented in OpenSSL. And we've agreed to take that in. Ingo promised to have a look at the at the patch, there's supposedly a pretty big optimization, pretty noticeable optimization of performance around that. So hopefully we should have it by the next call. We should have it integrated into the bridge. It's
I was on vacation.
He's not a slacker.
Yeah, before that, I had some researches on the connection time optimization, but it's work in progress now. They are
Yeah, so hopefully what we're targeting, we actually have an ongoing bet here with Boris, but we're hoping that we would be able to get a conference started from page load to conference started under a second, and because we're currently at about like at least 5 seconds, I think, which is a noticeable issue affecting user perception. So that's what the connection optimization work is about that Dubin just mentioned. George, do you want to
Yeah.
continue?
So I have done some more work in our load generation tool, the Hammer. So I'm in the process of making it reply to some basic RTCP packets like NACs, FIRs, and please. In the case where we stream a pickup file, it's also Mavenized. Then I did some debugging on the bridge because we had some problems last week during one of our stand-ups, and identified two main issues that me and Boris are going to work on. So sometimes when simulcast is enabled, you get scrambling videos when you switch from one participant to another. So the video resolution is not only the video resolution, also the content is like completely pixelized, and this is because
It's not just pixelated, actually, it's just really scrambled. It's like
really scrambled, yeah.
It's not a scaling problem.
Yeah, and the reason is because apparently we mix keyframes and streams. So we send a keyframe from the high quality stream, and then we stream the low quality stream. So and this confuses the decoder, and it thinks that that it should stream high quality while it's receiving low quality. And then we have also seen the bridge dropping some packets. Quite a few occasionally. We don't know exactly the reason why, and it doesn't happen often. So this needs to be investigated and figure out why it happens. We have some ideas, but they're just theories. We haven't proven any. It's not for sure that we don't know for sure what happens. And then I've also worked on PSNR tests last week. So we implemented it as a test case for our testing tool. We call it Jitsi-Torture. So it's implemented as a Selenium test, and it's not yet incorporated in the Selenium test. It needs some polishing, but it mostly works, and we're going to incorporate it soon.
You could talk a little bit about how it works.
So yeah. The way it works, we have some reference test videos. They're readily available on the internet. We use one which is 720p resolution. So we extract the frames from it. We barcode them, or we actually use QR code. So each frame is QR coded. Then we compose the video. We compose the frames back to a working video, and we feed that to Chrome. And then in the Selenium test, we periodically get the frame from the video element, and we store it somewhere. So after the test, after the video playback is finished, we have a bunch of frames captured in a directory, and we go through all those frames that we have captured. We extract. We find which, based on the QR code, we find which frame exactly is it in the original input video, and we perform a PSNR test on those two frames. And we have a value, and if the value is below 23, I think, or 22, we failed the test. And that's how it works.
And we're thinking of making that a more continuous capture of frames, because right now we just get a frame every second or something like that.
Yeah.
We're thinking of getting 30 frames every second. Maybe not consecutive seconds, but we do intend to have a test where we have the equivalent of 1 minute of HD streaming, so that we can have a more long-term evaluation of the quality of the bridge. The whole point of the PSNR test is that we want to have something that will fail, and that is a fairly large net over the set of issues that we could potentially encounter. That could include issues in simulcast, issues in just dropping packets, delaying packets. It's something that we've talked about a lot with Brian. We actually got the idea from their work. So yeah, thanks for that, and hopefully that should also be noticeable to all of you guys. A few updates from me. We already have everything set up for a stable build line. We decided not to make it automatic because we still encounter issues that are not covered by the tests. One day they should be, once we are confident that our tests are complete enough to trust them. But at this point, we have all the chains set up, and our plan is to basically release a stable build with versions that we roll into production, so that we would have observed them for some amount of time. So again, the build is there. It's just that it doesn't actually have any builds yet, and we will be notifying everyone on the list once this happens. But this has been a request coming from many people. I know that many of you have been running broken versions, and I can imagine the frustration that this causes. So I'm hopeful that the stable build line should address a lot of those. At least it should put it at the same situation as we are. Another thing that I wanted to mention briefly was something that oh yeah, right. So last week we started working again on Jibri. Our plan is to have a substantial amount of effort go into that in the following month. We'd like to have it integrated with Meet so that one could easily, just for those of you who are not aware of what Jibri is, this basically joins a conference and streams it to YouTube, so that you can have unlimited viewers and potentially a recording. It can be very, very, very easily adapted to stream to other sites like Twitch or like whatever, Vimeo or whatever you want to use. And it can also be just as easily adapted to simply do a recording that you can somehow handle later on. We are very enthusiastic about this project because it just works remarkably well compared to, and the effort that is required to maintain it is uncomparable to the effort that was required to keep Jitsi-Con running. Now, the downside of Jibri is that basically you need one VM per recording. So you guys would all judge whether that's a problem or not. If you're basically running this as a small company, I guess it wouldn't be, because you just need one VM. You probably rarely have more than one recording going at the same time. If you're a higher scale organization, then you'd have to come up with some auto-scaling and pooling rules there, but it's doable. So again, there would be work happening on Meet, on Jibri itself, on Gcoffle, with the purpose of making this mainstream part of the Jitsi suite. So I think that basically covers everything.
The YouTube thing, since you talked about Jibri, Damien's work.
All right. Okay. I've done one that I wanted to jump the gun on that already, but that's fine. One thing that we want to add to Meet is the possibility to have synchronized viewing of videos. So this is a pure Meet feature. It has nothing to do with the bridge. It uses just XMPP and the Meet client. The idea is that it would work exactly the same way as Prezi used to work. However, we're getting rid of Prezi because actually it's broken and no one ever complained. So I think that says a lot about how popular it was. So we're getting rid of Prezi. We're adding this feature where basically one person would be able to share a video. It would show up as a thumbnail participant. Everyone else would see them, but they would be downloading the video themselves. And then we would have events that would propagate navigation through the video from the person that's sharing it to everyone else, so that everyone else would be on the same page, the same minute. And yeah, basically, that would allow you to share videos within your meeting. For now, this is going to be a pure YouTube feature. Whether we extend it beyond that is something that we'll see later. But let's start. We want to start with something well scoped. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So, open mic. Any complaints, comments, questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace, or at least for 2 weeks.
So
Actually, that's not even true, because you can complain on the mailing list.
Emil, do you think?
Don't interrupting Brian right now. Go ahead, man.
Do you want me to file something separate for that issue I think? Because it sounds like that might be different from the thing you guys are seeing, which is an infrequent dropping of some of the packets.
Yeah, would you please describe what you're seeing?
Yeah, so we were running a bridge build, I think, from March 1st, and then I updated it on the 11th to get Luba's patch for the rest. And what we've begun seeing now is basically the call connects, and after about 10 seconds, the bridge seems to stop forwarding all video to all participants. And
okay, so not even a single packet gets out.
Not a video packet, yeah. So that was.
When you say that, you mean that audio packets are still going out?
Audio packets are still going out.
And that's for the entire bridge, or just for one conference?
I've only tried it with one conference of 2 participants, and both participants saw the problem. So I can try and put 2 separate conferences on to see what that ends up looking like.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be very surprised if this actually affects more than one conference. But so yeah, could you please open an issue, and is that something I can easily reproduce?
Okay.
Is that something that you can easily reproduce, Brian?
Yeah, we've been able to repro pretty easily.
So if you could add a thread dump and a heap dump somewhere, and not necessarily in the issue, but if you could somehow send us a thread dump and a heap dump, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I will try and I'll try and do it with a couple conferences and see if get some data there, and then
we actually have a script that creates a heap dump, a thread dump, and it captures the logs and it puts them in a zip file or in a tar file, so you don't have to figure this out. If you use the installed version of Bridge, it should be in JVB dumps. I can send.
You broke up a little bit there, but you said is that in the source? You said.
In the source and in the installed version, so I can send it to you in the issue that you are going to open, so you don't have to.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
can you include the version which has the issue and the version which doesn't?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you did mean that in the version that you had from March 1st, you don't have that thing happening.
We'd not been seeing this before. So if I can get through those things and then get some time, I'll try and do a little bit of a bisect as well. I was actually trying to get my local install of Jitsi Meet, just the vanilla Jitsi Meet running, but the make for the web code was breaking for some reason for me on Friday. I'll try it again today.
Right, but that definitely sounds like something that we want to look in. And given that it's happening at the media level, I would be surprised if that's dependent on using REST. So,
And we've seen something very similar, which is the issue that I'm supposed to look at this week.
well, it's not that similar. I think that's what Brian started with, because for him, packets stop and never start again.
Okay.
For us, it was just a lot of packets being dropped, but it's not like it stopped. So they do sound like a little bit different. But if we're not hitting it, then we're probably likely to hit it soon as well. So, yeah, okay. Thanks for the report, Brian.
Yeah.
Any of the other scary faces here want to share something? Boris, your avatar actually looks like pretty compared to everyone else's right now.
Should we mention the code reviewing policies that we have adapted?
Didn't we mention that last time?
The
Yes.
call?
We did. Okay, yeah, we did mention that. And also, Damien, I don't know if you said that though. Damien implemented this thing where every PR that is committed to, every PR that is sent to any of our projects would automatically download all projects and run the tests and then report the results in the PR. So this is something that currently works in a sequential way, in a blocking way. Basically, when we run the tests for one PR, that's all we can do. But in the future, we may look into parallelizing that, or not, because it's not a big deal to wait a little bit. So this should hopefully help with the PRs. We're still thinking about a way to expose the test results, because if you get a report that your tests are failing, that's probably helpful, but not super helpful. So we got to think of a way to give access to other people to the CI here that we have. Well, this is all for today then. Thanks everyone for joining, and see you again in 2 weeks, or on the list. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.